All right, so this is a trend review. Let's start with the higher time frame. So I was explaining this action yesterday when I was over here and indicated that you had volume. That was the highest of volume in many waves, and there was a chance for absorption across this level, and that's exactly, it turned out to be that scenario. So let's um, so basically there was accumulation here, but what's more clearer is this. Okay, this block right here against this resistance area, it went, pulled back, low volume, went again, pulled back, 2 bars, not a lot of volume, went again, pulled back. Clearly there's an inability for supply to press. This is also evident in the volume here. After this demand, look at this. Okay, there's a flip from heavy supply, right? Let me see if I can. From heavy supply, oh boy, to low supply. See that? It goes heavy, heavy, then what happened? Dried up, dried up, dried up. And look at the demand that came in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, green, 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 green. So at that point, price was at resistance, and when it pulled back, there's no supply. No supply. And then it went up, and again, you have shit supply. And again, no supply. Okay. What is this telling you? It's telling you that supply is unable to press down, and that basically initiated markup. So this area was absorption at resistance. So they try to sell, but the other side buys. And then what happened? A rally occurred and a higher high occurred. And this area, price went right back into it, and it served as support. Now, the key indications were obviously the absorption block. Right here, this entire thing's absorption. Second is the higher high. When it went up, it pulled back and made a higher high. Okay? After that, this is, in terms of volume, this is very confusing because the volume is extremely heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I believe this is this situation you see sometimes where very heavy volume is not really bearish, but it gives you like a feel that it's bearish. And I don't know exactly like how to characterize this. Is it a shakeout on heavy volume? Is it whatever? I'm not able to really characterize it. But the thing is, I know what it's trying to do, and it basically takes out everybody, and scares them. The maneuver, it kind of shakes out everybody and scares them, but really all it's doing is pressing as much as possible and going down to a support area, meaning to test a breakout. So you really you don't know that for certain. You won't know that for certain. All you know is that there's absorption, and it's going right into that absorption block. Okay, and it rallies, pulls back, and rallies really hard up here. This is very strong demand, and this demand has taken out the high of the supply area. And then after that, you have this. This is easy to read because you can see, is there any supply? There's no supply. After demand took over, green, 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 there's no supply. There's no supply. Look, where's the supply? Now you might say, oh, what about demand? Where's the demand? But understand that demand already proved itself. Supply needs to prove itself. So looking at the higher numbers here in demand is not really not needed. What you want to do is take a look at the supply, because demand already did that rally. So it goes down and then bang. I believe that when it came back into this area, this block right here was accumulation or reaccumulation, and they really screwed everybody over with with this maneuver, which was this bar right here was the breakout, meaning initiating markup. This is the accumulation into markup, okay? But after that, they did the stop run. This here is a deliberate manipulative maneuver to get rid of longs. And it worked because it went below this low, which is where all the stops were. After this green bar, after this rally, all stops are either below here or here. And this stop run, the purpose of it was to get everybody out. And they accomplished that goal. After that run, look at this maneuver. And that's how you know this stop run was to take inventory, long inventory from weak hands. Because weak hands would be in right here after this rally. They probably buy up here or on the pullback or whatever. But chances are all stops will be over here. And this maneuver here is a deliberate stop run, taking long inventory by running stops and then running price into a climax. Okay, meaning a very strong buying wave. So they made a lot of money here. Okay, so after this you have price moving sideways, but not like they're in this white dashes and all that. This is where it's getting really interesting, because I believe for sure this is a climactic action. This move here is climactic action. Now, will it break out and go supernova? I'm not sure. The bullish indications are lack of supply, lack of supply. The bearish indication is an upthrust, which means this attempt failed and did this, you know? So it is like, it's not very clear on this time frame. On the other time frame, a little bit more clearer, but even then, it's very difficult to read, because we know it's overbought. We know it's a low volume testing at the same time. Then there's an upthrust on good volume. That volume was unable to have follow through and actually reversed, but it's just coming right back to support. Where is the support? Right there. And it's probably going to go here too. We'll see. Because these guys, I think they might be trapped. Like right here when it broke the low in this wave. So if it goes down, I think they would cover. Anyway. So where are the trades? So that's the higher time frame. Let's take a look at the trades. I don't even know where to start as usual, but I'll just start from here. No, that's too late. Let's go from about 8 a.m. 8:30 or something. Anyway, so around 8:30. So you have price going down, you have rally from weakness. This is the weakness here. And weakness is really just low volume area. It could also indicate areas where accumulation is occurring. So the point is, there's not a lot of activity. So it rallied, it pulled back here, and just gave like a bar or two. So this was break even. The rally from this area of weakness, 41.11, that's about a little more, almost 4-to-1 ratio. But this thing is a sign that is not, that, there's an issue. When it goes up on 41, makes a little shortening of the thrust maneuver. This is like, it tries to go higher high, and the volume just depletes and then goes down on 58. See that? Red, 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 red. That is not cool. Because after that, I just gave like a bar or two, and if you're astute, you really question why the down volume is greater than an up volume. So it means that they sold the rally. So you can't anticipate every rally to work, but in this case, there was an opportunity, and they sold right at the highs, and that's where this volume is coming from. Red, 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 red. After that, price just went down, grinding, 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 grinding. You can't. I mean, it's not easy to trade this because grind. I don't know. I just don't see clean rallies. So they're where the upthrust or the springs or whatever is, and you won't even find them. Anyway, so over here, this is the first sign volume is coming in. First sign bull volume is coming in. And again, it does this shortening of the thrust, but the good thing is on the pullback, there's nothing. Okay? And you have weak supply on 1100 contracts, which is weak. 34 up, goes down on 24, unable to follow through, goes up right back on 23, absorbed, goes down 11, less volume, secondary test, and then bang, strong demand comes in on 4,700 contracts. So you could buy the pullbacks, but it doesn't pull back. Instead, it holds up here, meaning absorbing the area at resistance in order to do what? A rally on strong demand. Now, you could buy the pullback, which is what I want to do, but it only gives you a bar or two, which means basically it's either going to fail or break even. Okay, because it was unable to rally, meaning buyers did not want to buy it higher. And instead, you have strong supply come in. Red, 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 red. On 7,000 contracts. Okay. So again, we're looking for pullbacks, but it doesn't, I mean, if you put it here, you would get filled. And this was after this, it's high probability it's going to work because there's an upthrust right there. So you can go get the retest of that upthrust right up there, goes down, sell it. And there are different types of upthrust. This would be like an upthrust with the trend, and it's some people are looking at it at the extreme highs and lows and support and resistance, but this would qualify. In reality, that right there is tradable. All right, I know people don't agree with me, but I could care less. So it goes up on 47 and comes down on 36, and then tests and does all of this. Now you have 39 up here, fall by 23, green bar, fall through, coming back. This area is intriguing, because it's not showing any supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waves. It's really, now fine, you can say it's not demand up here, but remember, when there's demand coming in the background, right, it's a different story. Okay, supply needs to prove itself, not demand. Demand already came in 33.23. That's 5,600 contracts. Anyway, the green bar comes in, which initiates the rally. Bing, 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 bing. And this gave a pullback. What the hell's going on? This gave a pullback for a long entry right here, but again, like, this move was very, very small, and I hate to take like small moves because this like 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1, and it's really pointless because they suck, you know. But it just basically did an up thrust of the rally and then just puked. Okay, so some trades you don't know how far they're gonna go, right? You don't know if it's gonna be a 2 to 1, a 3 to 1, 4 to 1. There are times of 7, 8 to 1, no problem. Anyway, when it comes back down here, this rally comes in, and again, ding, 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 ding. So there were buyers here, you know. Now, was this a spring maneuver? Did they deliberately do this? I don't know, but it is a spring. That's for sure. That's how a spring looks, and that's the fall through. So you have demand from support on 5,700 contracts, and then the low volume pullbacks say there's no supply. Now, what is the 33? The 33 is bag holding. It is evidence that they're buying on the pullback. Why? Because it cannot go below 11. Why can't it go below 11? Because it is effort reward. What is effort reward? Effort reward is another word for accumulation, which is another effort reward is also another word for bag holding. So this 11 here, this 33 here, this 11 here basically says we're going higher. Price breaks out, pulls back up, and again, no supply, no supply. Remember, 57 up, 11 down. Right there, you know something's up. 5 to 1 ratio. Goes down, goes up on 69, then goes up on 97. Okay, there is a signal. It's kind of high up, so you have to be careful. And it actually does work. It pulls back to around to test here, this low volume. Comes back down, ding, and there, I think this was a little bit of accumulation action right here. After a while, you get used to seeing how it looks on a chart. This is how accumulation looks on a chart intraday. Okay, this and this right here, that's how it looks. That's accumulation or reaccumulation, whatever you want to call it, but that is how it looks. This idea of this long base, multi-month base, like this exists, but you're gonna find it on a weekly chart, 8-month base or something like that. That does exist, and there are moves. I mean, I've seen it in cotton and markets like that. But on an intraday basis, after the pullback, this is one of the things you want to look for because it's evidence of reaccumulation. The big bases, daily charts and weekly charts, I've seen plenty of time. I think it was in copper as well. Shit. Anyway, so there's a storm out there. After that, market goes up. I can't get above here, so I think it up thrusted this area, and then you had supply come in. Supply came in, took out the lows, gave a signal, but again, the move was really not that great. It was like 40 ticks, and it was to break even, and then you have this chopping action in this range. Again, 40 ticks, and up thrusted, and now here's where you're at. Now, I'm trying to figure out what this is. I think that's going to be interesting. Is this accumulation to go higher, or is this absorbing the support level to break down, or is this redistribution? Like one of those three. It's going to be one of those three, but it's very hard to tell because while the range is developing, you really don't know what it is. And why? Because they'll buy like 1,000, sell 300, buy another 1,000, sell 300, buy another 1,000, sell 300, that type of activity. So it causes clustered closes. And it's very hard to detect because it's in multiple bars within a tight price range, and Who knows who's on the other side of the buy and sell orders, right? Maybe they are. So this type of thing is where we're at now. All right, that's all I got. Take care.